And my guest is Tim Church from Somerset Web Services, and you're based in Victoria House. Now then, Tim, thanks very much for coming in to see us again. Last time you saw us, we were discussing security of websites and stuff, and how important that is, and what needs to be done. And obviously, you can help out with people on this, their websites. Today, I want to touch on the speed of websites and how quickly they load or don't load in some cases, and the importance of it.
Yes, exactly. It's one of the things that is quite important from a Google search positioning or ranking point of view as well now. The faster your website, the more likely that people are going to stay on your website, look around, and if it's an e-commerce website, they'll buy from you, or they'll phone you up and contact you and ask you about your services. But if the website takes 10 seconds to load something, as an example, they're going to get bored and get frustrated and move to somebody else.
Why does, or how does a website load slowly?
There's lots of different things that can
obviously your broadband is going to affect it, isn't it?
Yeah, the speed of your internet connection for one, although the majority of the people have some kind of broadband connection nowadays. But where the website is hosted, your hosting provider, one of the problems with shared hosting platforms, cheaper hosting platforms in particular, is that they try and cram as many websites as possible into the hosting space. So it's like waiting for a queue at the post office and having 10 windows open.
I think they call it contention ratio, don't they?
Yes. So the number of people requesting information in comparison to the number of processes or people that can handle those requests.
It's a bit like when you're, let's say, for example, in a crowded area like a festival or perhaps something like the Taunton Flower Show, and everybody wants to use their mobile phone to WhatsApp or post a picture online or whatever. You'll find that your mobile phone is slower because there are so many people having a piece of the pie at the same time.
Yes, you've got that poor mast in the middle of the field screaming, "Whoa, hang on a second.
I'm about to explode."
Yeah. So this is where, in some cases at festivals, they anticipate how many people are going to be there. They put up the right amount of temporary masts. Even maybe in emergency services situations, they might put a temporary mast up, or they might do something to
and of
restrict
course,
things.
The other thing as well is if the website is not correctly coded or built properly, that can also slow things down, can't it?
Yes, that's right. If it's trying to do too much, you're loading a contact page, for example. You don't need to load very much onto the page apart from the form, but yet if it's an e-commerce website, or if it's got more complicated features on the website, it could be loading the code, the basis for running that part of the website onto that page, and it doesn't need to. It doesn't need to load the shopping cart information because you're only looking at a contact form. So things like that take into effect the speed of things, especially if it's not on the website itself. For example, if you're loading your Facebook feed on your website and that Facebook feed contains images and things like that, it's having to get that information from Facebook's website, and things like that could potentially slow it down if it's not done in the right way.
And you can obviously advise this with people that come to you and ask you questions about the website and why it's not, you can say, well, look, perhaps this is happening or that's happening or whatever. Because I know it's a thing now to have Facebook feed on a website, but it's not necessary. Facebook is a site on its own. We've actually removed our Facebook feed for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have some link from your website to your social media feeds to advertise the fact that you are on social media, so that people can click you and follow you and things like that. But whether you need your feed on there as well is debatable.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're keeping your website up to date in other ways, news articles or events or things like that, then you don't necessarily need to display everything all in one place.
So if somebody came to you and said, right, we've got a very slow website here, can you have a look? What would the processes be? How would you go about it?
There are some basic reports that we can get hold of, and these are publicly available reports. Anybody can run them, that we can get an idea of what kind of things the website's trying to do, where's it getting the information from, how we can advise or help in making the website run faster. One thing that is actually more under the control of the person who runs the website, the editor themselves, is what they do with their images on the website. You take a picture on your mobile phone, you upload it to your website. The mobile phones nowadays take very large images.
Yeah.
2 megabytes, 3 megabytes, even sometimes 4 or 5 megabyte sized images, which are thousands of pixels in size. But yet you want to display it in a small box on your website. It's not necessary to be that big. People viewing the page with that image on, it has to load that whole image before it displays it. So,
and people love images. They love to post to share images, and they love to take selfies and stuff.
A picture says 1,000 words.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yes.
Exactly. So, okay. Well, look, thank you very much for sharing that information with us. Important news there, particularly if you're worried about your website being particularly slow and sluggish. It's not always the brand. It's not always your broadband. It could actually be your website. And Tim, that's what he specialises in. He could really help you with that one. If anybody is stuck, wants any helping hands, how can they go about getting in touch with you, Tim?
They can start by looking at our website, somersetwebservices.co.uk.
My guest is Tim Church from Somerset Web Services.